Well, welcome back to the shed, and I've got today an old ITT record player. It's a model 1040 stereo. Belongs to Adam over at Ashford. He keeps bringing this old junk over here because he knows I can resurrect it. Now, he's done a fair bit himself on this to restore it because as it came, all he was after really was the motorboard, but the motorboard proved to be in such a bad state that it wasn't worth salvaging. Oh dear. And the idea was it was to go into a music centre, which in the end, with a cracked circuit board in it, well, that wasn't worth salvaging either. So out of the ashes, a phoenix has arisen, so to speak, and this is it. Like many offerings of the day, this one has an auxiliary switch marked tape, and therein was part of the problem. There's a 5-pin DIN socket on the back of this, and two 2-pin DIN ones with the speakers. With the 5-pin DIN, it allows you to both play into the stereo 1040, use it as an amplifier, and it allows you, in theory at any rate, to record from it. But alas, recording from it didn't work at all. It didn't want to know. And the reason was that the 5-pin DIN socket itself was defective. They do get that way in time. This was made new in 1976, so it's 40 years old. It's got every right to be a little bit temperamental after all these years, I guess. So the motorball that was to go in the music centre, well, I think we've kept that for spares somewhere. The motorball from the music centre we put into here. It's a fairly sort of posh BSR auto changer affair. It's got an anti-skate control and a tracking weight adjustment on the arm there, more than you'll find on today's crappophones. And speaking of which, some of these crappophones, I notice, actually have a rip-off of this deck in them. But don't be fooled. If you thought BSR was bad, well, you haven't seen a thing yet in those. And they only come with the one needle, or the one stylus, and yet the thing can play 78s. And my guess is that if you were to play 78s on it, given the rough state many of those are in now, next time you went to play an LP, you'd, the less said the better. But this thing, it has a very nice sound on it indeed, separate bass and treble controls. And after its DIN socket transplant, it's sounding and performing as it should. The output is quite low. It's intended to be. It goes into the back of something like that old Philips up there, I imagine. So let's carefully put the needle in the groove and see what happens.
Landlord said this morning to me, give me your key, this one ain't free. I can't get no rent out of you, so pack up your goods and skidoo. You, I can wait till Bill gets home and steals my honey from a honeycomb. I know it's half money because he told me so this morning, because it's moving day, moving day. Rip the carpets up off the floor, throw the wash tub on out the door, because it's moving day. Pack up your goods and get away. If you spend every cent, you could live in a tent. It's moving day. Just about an hour ago, Bill came in all covered with snow. Landlord said, now where's my note? Bill said, I ain't got a cent to jet. But here's 2 chickens that I got for stew. You can take them for the rent that's due. And landlord said, my coop's been robbed this morning. So now it's moving day. Moving day. Rip your carpets up off the floor. Throw the wash tub on out the door, 'cause it's moving day. Pack up your goods and get away. If you spend
I know, shouldn't run it with the suspension screws up, but these should be loosened when it's playing so that the deck can bounce. If you transport it anywhere though, do tighten these down, because otherwise it'll bounce around all over the place, and that may well damage the mechanism or get things out of adjustment and do other aggravating things. So there we are, that's the ITT Stereo 1040. The slider knobs too are non-standard. They came off an old Amstrad cassette deck, I think it was, he said. And all there is the little silver pointy part. There was originally a clear plastic skirt around each, but these sliders are too close together to allow the skirt to be used as well. But as you see and hear, not a bad looking machine, and certainly not a bad sounding machine. So we'll see you again soon, and thanks for all the comments and so on. Very often I find when I try to reply, it won't. It just won't have it. Computer says no. For those of you who watched Little Britain, oh dear, there's enough people like that round here to fill a good ship several times over, I can tell you. Anyway, on that cynical note, I will away.